Guys, it's the day we've all been waiting for. The Kia Hyundai channel has finally received their first 2026 Kia Sportage Hybrid. Now in today's video, we are filming the SX model, which is the highest trim level available for the Telluride, the Sportage Hybrid. Now I'm a little bit of a loss for words here. It's a very exciting day and we're running a little bit behind already. However, in today's video, we're going to give you a full walkthrough of everything you can expect on the refreshed hybrid. And while I don't want to focus entirely on the SX model in particular, I'm going to focus on what has changed. Now, some things, of course, I am going to have to point out only come on this trim level, but we're also here to answer your questions. Now, this video is being done live, so we're live streaming this. It's a live broadcast. That means we're doing this in real time with no script. It's just me, the car, the camera, and Michael. Michael's helping out on the camera today. So should we get right into it, Mike?
Absolutely.
Let's start off with the entry MSRP of the Kia Sportage Hybrid. So your entry model is going to be called the EX, and it's priced at $41,245 Canadian, or $295. I might have to correct that. I will put the accurate MSRPs in the description, so if you would like to look between the different trim levels, everything will be laid out for you there nicely and neatly. Now the SX model I have here today is priced just over $47,000. Of course, taxes and fees will have to apply, but you get a lot in this vehicle and it's even better than what we had last year. It's a brand new look, brand new technology, and a couple differences in performance. Let's start off on the front end. We'll break down the headlamps first. So the headlamps are by far the biggest exterior change in my opinion. We no longer have the boomerang style daytime running lights, and instead we have a bold, bright amber DRL. This, in my opinion, definitely widens out the whole front end, giving the car a little bit more road presence, and I do like the color contrast. Let me know what you guys think in the comments though. When you hop over to the SX model, you also get a bit of a different array for the headlamps themselves. You'll notice we have 4 cube style lights. That's exclusive to this trim level. However, you do get standard LEDs on all hybrid Sportage trim levels. So no halogen bulbs, you will get bold, bright, white, sharp lights. All right, next up, an SX exclusive is these fog lamps here. So again, they're full LEDs stacked lower onto the grille for your vehicle, giving you a bit more visibility in foggy conditions. You'll also have forward-facing parking sensors and a lot of gloss black elements. So gloss black streaks, and then we also have a nice dark satin chrome you'll find throughout the car. So here we have a full span across the front end just underneath your Kia badge, tied in with some more gloss black. If tech is what you're after, the SX definitely delivers. We'll get a full 360-degree camera with a front-facing camera located right in the center of your grille that's triggered by the parking sensors. So what does that mean in real-world conditions? If I'm parking my vehicle and start to approach a wall or another car ahead of me, as soon as those parking sensors get triggered, it's going to show me direct footage from this front-facing camera. So it's intelligent. You're not going to be struggling trying to find which camera view is best for your parking situation. The car will sense what is getting close to other obstacles and show you live feed from that area. I like it. I like it. Now that you guys have got a good look at the front end, tell me what you think style-wise. Tech-wise, we have definitely improved some of the standard safety functions. So if you are opting for the EX or entry-level model, you'll already get smart cruise control with stop-and-go traffic detection, as well as built-in navigation. We also have a more advanced version of our forward collision avoidance. So if this vehicle detects that you're approaching the car ahead of you very, very quickly and you don't seem to be reacting, it'll warn you and then apply some brake pressure to avoid a collision. Now that it's advanced, it just sees a more broad array of safety systems or safety settings, and it can avoid collisions in that sense. So pedestrians, cyclists, even making a left at a busy intersection, the car is always scanning around and will warn you and react as needed. All right, should we pop the hood and talk powertrain? Because that's where things get a little bit different. So of course, with our hybrid, we're gonna get a gasoline engine, but we also have an electric motor. This vehicle in particular utilizes a 64 kilowatt electric motor in conjunction with your gas engine. The gas engine is still a 1.6 liter turbo, GDI, which stands for gasoline direct injection. Now the horsepower and torque outputs are a little bit tricky because I'm getting mixed messages from Kia Canada's website. And let me refer to my notes because I wrote down the 2 different variables they've given me. So on the brochure online, they listed 232 horsepower with 271 pound-feet of torque combined. Okay, good numbers, a little bit of improvement from what we've seen last year. However, if you actually go to their build section on their website, this is what they have. 241 horsepower with 258 pound-feet of torque. Now that torque setting is the same as what we had last year, so that seems pretty solid, but Kia Canada, can you let us know which one's right? Either way, this car is going to provide more punch than the regular gas version of the Kia Sportage, so not only is it going to be more efficient, but if you do have a heavy foot, you'll appreciate the increased power too. Transmission-wise, we have a 6-speed regular automatic transmission, and there are paddle shifters inside the vehicle that not only change your gears on the fly, but can also adjust the levels of regenerative braking. I'll talk more about that in just a second. All right, Michael, we'll come on over this way and talk wheels next. So it's not just the front end that gets a nice redesign. We now have some new wheels. So on the entry model EX, you'll get a 17-inch alloy, not pictured here today. And then if you opt for the EX premium trim level or the SX, you'll get this 18-inch wheel exclusive to those two trims. So it's a gloss black finish with a lot of machined finished elements as well. I'm so happy they didn't do just an all black wheel, because all black wheels kind of get lost in here. You don't see them as well. They don't look as nice, in my opinion. So this is a nice contrast between the two. We also have a fully enclosed or fully covered center cap with our Kia emblem in that same brushed aluminum finish that we have for a Kia badge on the hood. So everything's cohesive, it looks nice. There's a lot of dark or gloss black elements on this car, but a lot of brightness too to contrast nicely. Doesn't matter which exterior color you pick, Sportage rocks them all. We haven't seen Heritage Blue or any of our fun new colors yet on the Hybrid, but we did see them at the New York Auto Show, so if you want to check out our videos from there, you can get the full picture of what the car looks like. Now for your brakes, you'll have larger ventilated disc brakes up at the front with solid disc brakes in the rear. Your rear will also feature a multi-link suspension, which not only is great for handling, it's also going to give you a nice smooth ride. Speaking of smooth ride, we have new and enhanced sound deadening in this vehicle, so the cabin itself is nice and quiet. I can't say the same if you have kids or pets that are very noisy in the vehicle, but just if it's you driving, you can appreciate a quiet cabin. All right, so the next point I want to talk about is the wheel arch. So we got a gloss black finish, which I think ties in nicely. There'll also be a parking sensor integrated into this area as well too. So on the SX model, not only do you have a full 360-degree camera, but you'll have sensors on both the front, the side, and the rear. That also gives this vehicle highway driving assist level 2, meaning that it can set your speed, set your following distance, make sure you're centered in your lane, but also do automated lane changes when you are on a registered highway. So more advanced tech and safety functions that we did not have on the Sportage last year. For your windshield, looking at it, it may not look like anything fancy or special, but in the entry model, you'll already be introduced to a heated windscreen. A lot of people are familiar with having that on your back window. It'll actually melt the snow and ice off the window. The same is true for up here. So you can start your vehicle remotely from your phone, trigger the heated windshield, get to your car, and everything is already defrosted. And the cabin's already preconditioned. Your mirrors on the side will be power folding, and you'll also have a turn signal indicator mounted in perfect plain sight with a little bit of gloss black along the bottom and a blind view monitoring camera. Now this blind view monitoring camera is exclusive to the SX trim level, but something that isn't exclusive is blind spot detection. That will be a standard function on all trim levels of the Hybrid, and essentially that little icon will indicate whether there's a car in your left or right blind spot by illuminating itself and also beeping inside the cabin to give you an audible alert. All right, now for convenience entry, a feature that I feel like a lot of people don't think about, and then they buy the car, realize it has it, and realize how nice it is. So this car doesn't have the button style entry anymore. Instead, it's going to have just motion. So when you have the key on you, you can walk up to the car, either the driver or passenger front door, put your hand on the handle, it'll unlock for you, and then once you're done driving, press on it again, the vehicle will lock. Now this particular trim level also has digital key entry, meaning that I can unlock, start, and drive my vehicle from my phone if I want to. You can also share access and revoke it. So if someone else is driving your car for the weekend and you don't want to give them a real key, you can set them up with the digital key system. Up at the top, we have our gloss black roof rails. Again, design-wise, They match everything else on the exterior of the car, so they look good, but of course also the added functionality of utilizing rooftop storage. The pillars on the SX model are also all finished in gloss black, same thing with the belt line. So all those design cues we saw on the front end continue their way throughout the car, and everything looks cohesive. This hasn't always been the case with Kia. I'm just gonna be honest, you guys. I do work here, but I'll point out when things are wrong. Sometimes we have, black elements on the front end, and then we get to the rear and everything's chrome, and it just doesn't look like it flows together. This flows, and it does it very nicely. Now coming on to the rear end, I want to talk all-wheel drive system for a second. So on the regular gas Kia Sportage, you can opt for front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive in the entry model, and then everything above that is standard with all-wheel. Now on the hybrid, you only get the option of all-wheel drive here in Canada. It's Kia's smart all-wheel drive system. So if it's a regular sunny day and you're driving on dry pavement, it's primarily front-wheel drive to give you the best fuel efficiency. However, if it senses you've turned onto a gravel road or some sort of uneven terrain, it'll automatically readjust its system to give you proper torque to where you need it most, giving you a stable drive. The car also has a snow mode, a mud mode, and a sand mode that you can select whenever you need to put your car in those preset systems. It'll change your stability control, your gear shifts as well too, and also adjust the level of regen braking. So if you let off the accelerator, the car doesn't come to a complete halt. Because again, if it's snowy or icy, that might not be good. All right, now for the rear end, let's talk styling. Not too much has changed back here. The shape of the tail lamps seem pretty similar to last year, but if you pay close attention, we do have a little bit of fine tuning inside the unit itself. So the overall layout of your bulbs are slightly different. Get full LED tail lamps over here and a lot of gloss black housing for the unit. Again, giving it that dark appeal without actually tinting your taillights and making them harder for people to see. Your high mounted stop lamp is located in your spoiler. And then just underneath, we also have a hidden rear wiper. This rear glass pane is also heated. That's of course standard. We always expect that here in Canada. And then we get a power liftgate. Now, the power liftgate is not a standard function on the Kia Sportage Hybrid. It's actually introduced, sorry, is my hair in the way?
Yeah, it's mic.
Oh, the mic, okay.
Sorry.
So the power liftgate is not a standard function on the Sportage Hybrid. It's introduced in the EX Premium trim level. EX Premium is actually something new for this year. We only had 2 Sportage Hybrid trim levels in the past, so it's so great to have something to bridge that gap if you don't need the fully loaded model or you don't want to swing the extra cash. You get something in the middle that gives you all those extra creature comforts. Space-wise though, doesn't matter what model you get, we're gonna have the same amount of space, and it's impressive. So one thing that the Kia Sportage really wins with is the ability to comfortably carry 4 people plus driver, and carry all your goods with you too. What I mean by that is the larger Kia Sorento in its hybrid configuration only comes with captain's chairs in the middle. That means if you need all the space in the back, you're folding down one of the 3rd row seats and you're losing the capacity to carry all those passengers plus their goods. Not the case in this car here. For features back here, we do have LED lighting just located on the driver's side, and there's also a 12-volt inverter. The seats themselves are very easy to knock down. On each side, you will have this pull tab here that allows you to select which part you'd like to go down. It goes in a 60-40 split, and each of the rear seats have car seat tethers. Underneath the floorboard, we have a compact spare tire, something that is a bit of a rarity, especially not only in the compact or subcompact segment, but in the hybrid segment. A lot of manufacturers choose not to include a spare and instead will do something like a mobility kit. But we all know there's real peace of mind with a spare tire. That way if you do get a full blowout or something that's irreparable on the side of the road, you can actually put the donut on and get back to driving. All right, so let me close this up. I realize I talked so much about driving, but I haven't really mentioned what the fuel efficiency is. So on Kia's brochure, we're at about 6.7 liters per 100 kilometers. And again, since the horsepower and torque values aren't exactly, I don't want to say accurate, but I just don't know which one we're actually using right now, that's a pretty fair estimate. It's very similar to what we had last year. It's only slightly worse. But again, when it comes to fuel efficiency ratings, a lot of it will come down to how you drive. Is most of your drive on the highway? Is it in the city? Is it a mix of both? Are you heavy on the throttle or are you easy on the throttle? Really comes down to how you drive. And based off my experience with Sportage Hybrid, I can make it very forgiving, but I can also influence it in a not so great way. One more thing I want to talk about is the customization of this vehicle, and that comes down to the drive mode selects on this car. You do get a sport mode, an eco mode, and even a customizable drive mode based off what you fit best. Of course, sport mode is going to make things feel a little bit more sensitive in your throttle, so it's going to appear a little bit faster. It doesn't actually add horsepower to your car, but it'll prioritize power from the gas engine and give you that more sensitive feel. Eco mode, however, will shift your gears a little bit quicker, so you're always in a more efficient gear, and your throttle will feel a little bit more dull. Simply, by any means, it's not slow or sluggish, it's just going to feel a little bit different. Your fuel tank is located on the driver's side door, or your fuel door, I should say. There we go. And as long as the vehicle is unlocked, you can press on the gas door and it'll open for you. It is a 52-liter tank, so not too hard to fill up at the pump. You're not going to be staying there for too long. And of course, with this vehicle, you can do more on less fuel. And what I mean by that is a regular gas Sportage is not going to go as far on a full tank as a hybrid Kia Sportage. More on that when we hop inside. So I'll have Mike give a quick pan of the interior. And anytime we get a new or refreshed version of a car, I can't exactly trust the brochure because, of course, they mention some things that are new and changed, but there's other things that they don't exactly say. And I don't know if you can tell, but the upper seat backs are a bit of a suede material. Nowhere on the brochure was that mentioned to us, but it's a welcome surprise to me. Definitely gives the vehicle a very premium feel, looks good, and if you're not a fan of suede, at least it's not in the main seat portion where you're sitting down. So it's a very nice touch. The seats themselves are going to be powered with memory support on the driver's seat. You get your lumbar adjustment, your height adjustment, and then of course your backrest. And then when you do use your memory seat control, not only will it save your seat, but it'll also save your heads-up display and your mirror presets. It may seem like there's only 2 memory seat options, but there's only 2 buttons. What I mean by that is when you do utilize driver profiles, you actually get 2 per user profile, and you'll configure it by pressing each individual button. So if I have my driver profile and seat number 1 save is for a regular day, seat number 2 save is for a bad back day, when Michael hops in the car and goes into his driver profile, these buttons synced to him are going to be completely different settings. I hope that makes sense. I may have said it a little bit confusing. I'll move on now. Now for the door garnishings. We have a bit of a carbon fiber-esque metal accent, so a nice dark gunmetal finish with our more chrome-esque handle for the door. Your mirror controls are all located here with a separate button to power fold your mirrors on the fly. Now every time you lock your vehicle, they'll power fold on their own. You get express windows for the driver and passenger on the SX trim level, and some nice soft touch material for the main piece here. Along the bottom, you'll see our speaker design, and the EX and EX Premium trim levels will come standard with Kia's in-house 6-speaker audio, while the SX model will come with the Harman Kardon Premium sound system, so a bit more crisp audio quality if it's something that's important to you. The left-hand side will have some quick controls for your brightness on the screens, traction control, as well as your electronic parking brake, a button for your power liftgate, and a 12-volt battery reset. You also get a quick peek of some of the ambient lighting throughout the car, so right now it's set to an orange tone, however you can change it to whatever you prefer. I see our lighting just went down, so I'm going to hop out of the car and get our room lights back on.
Maybe this will be a good idea to show the ambient lighting.
Yeah. In the meantime, though, I'm also going to grab my iPad and see what you guys are saying question-wise. Anytime it's our first reveal of a new or refreshed car, I want to see what you're thinking so far and if any questions stand out in particular. I do want to go very nitty-gritty and in-depth on this particular trim level, but I think it's only fair that we talk about the Sportage Hybrid period before we talk about the Sportage Hybrid SX. Michael, do you want to join me in the passenger side? Yes or no?
No.
No. All right, now the layout of the interior has changed drastically. We have a lot of new materials, and most of it is things that you've been asking for. So if you've been looking at the Sportage of last year, you may remember that all of this area here was finished in piano black. Now it's in that same carbon fiber-esque, I gotta stop using that word because it's nothing like carbon fiber, but that same metal finish. It's got some vertical striped lines through it, And the best part about it is no matter where I touch, I'm not leaving fingerprints. So this is a lot better for the long run. It's not going to be a fingerprint nightmare. Now, if you open up this tab here, you'll see we have our drop down for our wireless phone charger as well as 2 USB-Cs. These USB-Cs are going to charge a whole lot faster than the standard USB. And get ready for this. We finally have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto standard. So although this is the fully loaded model with the larger screen, we can do everything wirelessly. And then of course, wirelessly charge too. The main head unit has completely changed. So this is a 12.3-inch display that is standard on this car, regardless of your trim level. You got integrated navigation and the ability to customize the menu to whatever your liking is. So it's very much like a smartphone in the sense that you can make it yours. You can personalize your home screen. A couple things I want to point out in particular is the hybrid menu. This will show you where your energy usage is coming from. So if I actually had this vehicle running, it'll show me if it's drawing power from the engine versus the battery, as well as when the wheels are charging back into the battery via regenerative braking. It's also going to give you your driving stats. So what is your current fuel consumption as well as your electric motor use. I find this menu so helpful for new hybrid drivers. Speaking of which, if you are a new hybrid driver or considering a hybrid, here's what you need to know. So this vehicle does have a gasoline engine and it only has a fuel door, so you don't have to worry about plugging it in. If you want to plug it in, there's also a Sportage plug-in hybrid. All of the charging for your battery is done by either the gas engine running or by coasting via regenerative braking. So when you brake on this vehicle or allow the car to coast, that electric motor is no longer running to propel your vehicle. Instead, it's reversing itself and drawing that energy back into charging your battery. So no plugging it in at all. There's nothing you have to do as a driver to charge your battery. Don't worry, it won't die on you. There is also a separate 12-volt battery on your vehicle that powers things like accessories. That's what most people are used to in their battery car. Don't worry about that. We also have the 12-volt battery reset, so you don't have to jump it. Essentially, if you leave this car parked for a long period of time and it senses the 12-volt is starting to deplete, it'll actually shut it off completely or disconnect it completely. That way, when you do come back and hop in your car, if it's dead, you'll press the 12-volt and it'll keep enough juice in it to jumpstart it itself. No jumper cables needed. Pretty handy. Now, the overall layout of the rest of the dash, we got our vents, of course, our hazard lights, and then our climate control screen. This is actually flippable, so right now it's set to dual climate, which is standard. But you can also flip it over to access your main menu settings. So jump into my home menu, jump to my map, whatever you want to do can be done here, or you can simply use the touchscreen to do it. I know me personally, I usually always leave this on climate because if I want to open my map, I can just quickly touch the screen or use my voice commands to do so. Now your main center area here is going to house your gear shift. This is called a shift-by-wire style shifter. So essentially, you'll just twist it into drive, reverse, or neutral, and then press P in the middle for park. Very easy to use and also keeps a nice, clean, simple layout. Your comfort controls will be just located to the right, so we got heated seats for the driver and passenger, as well as ventilated seats with 3 different levels between the two. You also get a 2-level heated steering wheel. Heated steering wheel and heated seats are standard, with ventilated seats making their way over on the EX Premium trim. Right over here, we have a button to quickly turn off our parking sensors, view our full 360-degree camera on this trim level. On other trims, it'll only show your rear view. And then we've got our cup holders. The cup holders are adjustable, so with current years, it's not just cars that are getting bigger, it's water bottles too, and the cup holders match that. And then we've got our main center console. Size-wise, it'll be the same regardless of your trim level. Up at the top, full panoramic sunroof. This is going to start on the EX Premium trim level and also work its way over to the SX. The glass opens to about here, and then of course the cover is fully extend. All right, let's take a look at the back seats, see what we're at for space-wise, and then I'll answer some questions. I realize this video is running a bit longer, but it's so hard to keep a video like this short. There's so much to talk about. Just one more major thing, sorry. And this is brand new for 2026. We did not have this in last year's SX model. That's the heads-up display. So exclusive to this trim level, it's a 10-inch display that just shut off because the car turned off. Awesome. But essentially, this will show you your turn-by-turn for your navigation, as well as if there's a vehicle in your blind spot, and can be configured just like your seat. So if you're a multi-driver household with very different heights, You'll have one saved for you and then one saved for whoever else is driving the car. Okay, let's turn the car off and I'll give Michael back the camera. Let's see what you guys have to say about the back seats.
Definitely the Gabi measurements.
The official Gabi measurements. Ooh, okay, so number one, the seats look like they're very upright right now, but they do have an amount of recline to them. So the main two seats will each have a lever on the side that you can pull up and then adjust your seat as needed. So if you want a little bit more recline, you can do that and lock it into position. These two seats are going to move together. These are the 60, this is the 40. Now if no one's sitting in the very center, you can drop down the armrest and it has two cup holders. And it's all leather or leatherette finish, so nice soft touch material. The upper seat backs still have that beautiful suede pattern, which I absolutely love. I hate when manufacturers put so much design into the front seats and then the back seats just look so basic and boring. It's really nice to see that carry over here. On the EX Premium and SX trim levels, these main two seats are also going to be heated with 3 different levels of the heat and the control being mounted on the door itself. So just right above your window control. The speakers back here are also still your premium Harman Kardon sound system on the SX model. And here's some things that are standard. Standard, you will have this little hook integrated onto the headrest for both driver and passenger, as well as your seat back pockets and a smaller hook mounted here. This hook is fantastic if you are utilizing these USB-C chargers because you can wrap the cord around here and then have the phone or device just sitting in the pocket while it's charging. That way there's no cords running around underneath the seats. You also have rear climate, or rear ventilation I should say. So your fans will reach back here and they can of course close or open. Just below, another small storage compartment. And then space-wise, we're working with a lot of it. So sitting straight up, I have quite a bit of headroom. It's worth noting that if you do opt for a car with the sunroof, you do lose a little bit of space. Can you actually tell the difference? Probably not, unless your height is quite literally where the roof is, then maybe you'll feel it. But of course with the sunroof, it definitely gives the illusion of more space simply because it's letting light in. Feet-wise or legroom-wise, I've got a lot of it, but I'm also not the tallest person. That being said, our dealer principal just filmed with me yesterday. He's about 6'2". He fits in the Kia Sportage, absolutely no problem, with room to spare. So lots of knee room, lots of headroom, and lots of space around me. Mind you, no one else is sitting here. Now, if I were to sit in the very middle, of course you have your drivetrain running through, but the center hump isn't too high to the point where my feet are so elevated and I'm uncomfortable. I could quite literally sit in any seat in this car for a long drive and be okay, provided the company isn't that bad. All right, let's answer some questions. So we'll hop out and see what you guys have to say. Sorry, Michael, were you about to come in the car?
No.
All right. Now again, so there was a little bit of confusion on Kia Canada's website regarding the actual horsepower and torque specs, but I've listed what they both have posted. So hopefully soon enough they clear that up and we get the proper values. Regardless, with this car, you are still getting more power than the typical gas model. And for some reason, your live chats aren't showing up, but I'm going to try and refresh that and hope it comes through. Do you know when the PHEVs are arriving to your dealership? So no, there have been no PHEVs on our radar yet that I've seen. We have had 2 hybrids show up, an EX and this SX model here, and that's it so far. I'm really hoping to see a heritage blue one. I have a customer of mine who's been waiting for so long, and
just to come see it, or
no, for him to get the car, but also I would like to film it first.
Yeah, there is one coming soon. So.
Oh, is there?
Yes.
What, heritage blue?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, sounds like is it an SX model? No.
I don't
okay,
think so. No.
Then that's not helpful. Thank you, Michael.
But the color will be
yeah, at
here
least
soon.
the color.
Yeah.
Price, please. So the price for this particular unit is $47,745 Canadian. Now the hybrid Sportage starts at $41,245 Canadian. So there's a big price variation. Now there is a trim level right smack dab in the middle that offers a couple more luxe functions than the typical EX, but it doesn't go all the way over to the SX that we have here today. Blair said, why so many gray options? Wolf gray, steel gray, gravity gray. People like their grays here in Canada. Black, white, and gray seem to be the colors we get the most of. Seriously, if you walk around our lot right now, It looks like a lot of fleet cars,
Yeah.
like rental cars. It's just,
I mean, I can't blame them for wanting like a wolf gray.
wolf gray is really nice,
Yes, especially in the winter time, you see the salt everywhere, but with that color, you don't see it very often.
I also realized I didn't explain regen braking that much. So regenerative brake, actually I think I did a little bit. Regenerative braking is essentially the electric motor spinning in reverse. So instead of propelling your car, it's actually just charging up your battery. So it's reverting electricity, turning it to kinetic energy, it's storing it within the battery for later use. Now, a huge win with hybrids is, again, you're not plugging it in, so you don't have to worry about, can you install a charger at home? Do you have an installer charger at work? You don't have to worry about that. You're just putting gas in it, and you're never gonna run out of juice unless you don't put gas in your car. Then I can't help you. But when you're sitting in stop-and-go traffic, this vehicle is gonna sit in EV mode, so it's not actually using any gasoline at all. Same thing with low-speed driving. If you're cruising around the parking lot trying to find a spot, a lot of the times this car is going to be simply in EV mode. Now, when you floor it to get onto the highway, it's going to draw more power from the gas engine. But for the most part, this vehicle is going to pick and choose where it's getting its juice from, its power from, and do it all automatically and smartly. That's why a hybrid is going to be more efficient than a regular gas car. It does have that electric motor to rely on and that battery pack that's storing power for use when it's convenient. All right, does that make sense, Mike?
Yes.
You don't want to be on camera?
I'm just hiding.
Now we are at 31 minutes, which again is a bit of a longer video, but I do want to quickly answer a few more questions before we sign off today. Let's see. Is there a way to disable the startup system check beeps by chance? So no, every time you start the vehicle, it will run a quick startup screen. You can't turn that off. The same is true for the low-speed artificial noise that these vehicles make. So you've definitely heard it on EVs, you've heard it on plug-in hybrids, but the same is true for regular hybrids. Because when you're reversing this car or driving at very low speeds, there's virtually no sound because the engine's not running. The car does have an external amplifier that plays like I can't even mimic it myself, it's just an eerie noise. And that's for pedestrian safety, so they can hear that there's a vehicle around them. Can't disable that. I know some people do, can't do that. It's by law. Anything you want to add, Mike?
No, I seen a couple more questions there, but I'm pretty sure you answered most of them already.
Someone said 20-inch wheels give a rough ride anyway, so it looks good, but yeah. So 20-inch wheels, I don't think they make sense on this car. The 18-inch wheels, I think they suit the vehicle's overall profile quite well. It doesn't look like there's a lot of extra space. It looks good, but also going to be more cost effective when you are shopping for winter tires too. I think that's probably it for questions today. I'm going to be gone all of next week, so there will be no live stream videos. However, I do have things posted for every single day, so there will still be videos going up, just nothing live. I hope to see you guys soon, though, the week after, so I'll be right back on Monday. Michael, is there anything you want to add?
No.
Okay. Someone said fix the audio for God's sake. I don't know what's wrong with the audio. Again, this is a live video, so I can't hear it back right now. I'll try to fix it after. Sorry, guys. All right, take care. Leave a like if you haven't already, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.